This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there, Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, he's 44 years old. He's still in the NFL. He's won 7 Super Bowls as a quarterback. 6 with the Pats, 1 with the Bucks. I'm kind of bitter he left the Pats, but whatever. Anyway, he's immortalized in the movie Ted. You know, the one about the talking teddy bear, voiced by Seth MacFarlane. But anyway, Mark Wahlberg and Ted are in bed somehow, and they talk about this. And then Mark Wahlberg says, Tom Brady can do that. Yeah, Tom Brady can do that. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, he did that. This has got to be one of the biggest stories of all time. I mean, yeah, he's 44 today, on this August the 3rd. He spent 20 years with the Pats, and is why the franchise has a freaking dynasty. His quarterback stats. So anyway, he played for Michigan. In college football, did okay for Michigan. Helped them win the Orange Bowl, although Bama lost that one because their kicker missed the extra point in overtime. But anyway, Brady was selected in the 6th round of the 2000 NFL Draft. The 6th round. He was one of the biggest draft steals, if not the best, in NFL history. He became the starting quarterback in the 2nd season, helping the Pats win their Super Bowl title over the Rams, which kind of takes me off because I was cheering for the Rams at that time. And then basically I was like, if you can't beat them, join them. So I joined to become a Pats fan in 2002, and ever since, even though the Pats have been to Super Bowls and lost and have had droughts, Super Bowl droughts, I've always stood by the Pats. Anyhow, Brady as the starter for 18 of those seasons. One season he almost missed all of it because of an injury in week 1. He led them to 17 division titles. Can you believe it? When he was around 17 out of 18 years as the starter into a division to win a division. 2003 was when he didn't do it. Well, 02-03, whatever. 13 conference championship games. 13. Can you imagine? From 2011 to 2018, the Pats have won to every AFC title game. 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Super Bowl titles. That's with the Pats, of course. And then he just won Super Bowl 55 with the Tampa Bay Bucks in their own backyard against the Kansas City Chiefs, which was rare because no team ever had the host city, and then they would host their team in the Super Bowl. Well, that's something bad. So yeah, he's been to 10 Super Bowl appearances and 7 victories. He holds many quarterback records, including passing yards, completions, touchdown passes, games started, and Pro Bowl selections. He's never had a losing season, even with the Pats. He's the leader in quarterback wins in post regular season, then regular season and postseason combined. I guess regular season and for the playoffs. And Super Bowl MVP awards. 5. He has 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Can you believe it? He's got a lot of longevity. He's the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl in 3 different decades. The 2000s, the 2010s, and of course the 2020s. He's 43, the oldest player to be named Super Bowl MVP, and being the oldest NFL MVP at age 40 in 2017. He was named to 2 first-team all-decade teams, the 2000s and the 2010s. He's won 5 ESPYs. All right, so anyway, Brady was born in San Mateo, California. And he would regularly attend Niner games at Candlestick Park. Brady called Montana an inspiration. He was actually at that game in 1981 when the Niners took on the Cowboys, and Dwight Clark made the catch. All that. So Brady was a good prospect. He was a good left-handed batting catcher with power. And his skills impressed MLB scouts. So, in the 95 MLB draft, in the 18th round, the Montreal Expos picked Tom Brady. They projected him to be an all-star. All that. But Brady really was looking at the fact that schools wanted him to play college football for them. Cal, UCLA, USC, Michigan, and Illinois would recruit him. Cal had their own good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. UCLA, well, their quarterbacks have been kind of hit and miss. Cade McNown, anybody? USC, well, that's a quarterback factory if I ever know one. Michigan, pretty good. And Illinois, not really a lot of good quarterbacks except for Juice Williams lately. So anyway, Brady was recruited to play for the University of Michigan. So yeah, so he played for Michigan from 95 to 99. He was a backup quarterback for his first few years. Well, Brian Griese would help the 97 Wolverines win a share of the national championship by winning the 98 Rose Bowl against Washington State. Of course, Nebraska, the co-number one, also won their thing, so it was just a share of the title. Brady was actually 7th on the death chart when he played for Michigan. He actually hired a sports psychiatrist to help him cope with frustration and anxiety, and he even considered transferring to Cal. But basically, he would get helped by assistant athletic director Greg Harden, who pushed him in a good position. Brady would start the final 2 years of his college football career in 98 and 99. He helped Michigan beat Arkansas in the Citrus Bowl. Fuck! I like Tom Brady, but I don't like how he screwed over my college football team. Anyway, Brady and Hansen in the 99 season would platoon. With Brady playing the first quarter, Hansen the second, and then Coach Carr would have to decide who would be the second half. Michigan seemed pretty good. But against Michigan State, he was not picked to be in the second half. However, he was reinserted with Michigan down by 17. He led Michigan almost to a comeback, losing by only 3 points. And then the following week, Carr said he was going to go with Brady for the remainder of the season. Michigan would play Ohio State in the rivalry game, but this would be a trip to the Orange Bowl on the line. And Brady, with 5 minutes left, beat Ohio State. Then Michigan beat Bama in the Orange Bowl. That was a perfect play and all that. Actually, Michigan was down 28-14 in the second half, but came back to win. When he was a starter, he was 20-5, winning the Citrus Bowl, or what I kind of know as the Capital One Bowl. The bowl before the Rose Bowl on ABC, when it was on ABC. Brady did pretty good. He did graduate from Michigan in December 99 with a Bachelor of Arts in General Studies. So, anyway, he did not have a good NFL scouting combine performance, and that usually means something. So, Brady was not selected till the 6th round. It was his 7th quarterback taken. Let me get you of quarterbacks. Thankfully, Wikipedia says that I can sort the picks by position. The first round, the New York Jets had a pick, and they picked a quarterback. Beautiful. They could have had Tom Brady, but no, they took Chad Pennington from Marshall. No, that wasn't a bad pick. I mean, Pennington did pretty good for the Jets. But the worst part is when the Jets got rid of him because Brett Favre was on the market, Pennington went to Miami, and in the ultimate act of revenge, Pennington led Miami to the division title to beat the Jets on the final day of the season to screw the Jets over. Although, that does piss me off in a way because if the Jets had beaten the Dolphins, the Pats would have won the division. Instead, the Pats at 11-5 missed the playoffs. It's like, what the fuck? I was not happy at that time. Anyway, San Francisco in the 3rd round had a chance to get Tom Brady. They drafted a quarterback, and it would have been Tom Brady. I mean, perfect. He went to Niners games as a kid. But they decided to go for Giovanni Carmasi. What? Him? Giovanni Carmasi from Hofstra, IAA. Hofstra? Really? What's Hofstra known for? I guess Wayne Corbett. I think he came from Hofstra. Someone did from Hofstra. But anyway, Giovanni Carmazzi. Fuck that. So Giovanni Carmazzi. Man, that didn't go over so well in San Francisco. I don't know how many games he played, but anyway. In the third round, the Ravens drafted a quarterback. Could have been Tom Brady. Okay, fair enough. But they took Chris Redmond from Louisville. Okay. Ravens did win the Super Bowl. I don't know if Redmond got a ring or not, but okay, maybe so. And then there wasn't a quarterback drafted to the fifth round when Pittsburgh got a compensatory pick and took T. Martin from Tennessee. It's shocking that T. Martin led Tennessee to a national title, and yet he was picked in the fifth round. What the heck did San Francisco and Baltimore see with their quarterbacks? But, that's fair. T. Martin was a good college football quarterback, but in the majors, not really good. So then comes pick number 168 in the sixth round. The New Orleans Saints are on the clock. And they take Mark Balger from West Virginia. That's a good move. I mean, Balger, it was a good quarterback for West Virginia, and he was a good quarterback in the NFL. However, it wasn't for the Saints. It was for the Rams. Balger was basically, I guess, Kurt Warner's heir apparent with the Rams. And then Cleveland with the 183rd pick took a quarterback. But they went to Southwest Texas State. It's like, what? For Spurgeon, the Surgeon Wynn. I thought he went to Syracuse, Spurgeon Wynn. Guess not. But Spurgeon Wynn. Ugh, Cleveland. Man, oh man. You and your quarterbacks. And then with pick number 199, the Pats took Tom Brady. There were 5 other quarterbacks drafted in that 2000 draft after Brady. 3 picks later, Washington took Todd Husak from Stanford. That didn't work out. San Diego, with pick 205, took Jawan Sader from Florida A&M. San Francisco took Tim Rattay, another quarterback, Tim Rattay from L-Tech. Couldn't trust Carmazzi, eh? Rattay became a better quarterback than Carmazzi. Denver took Jarius Jackson from Notre Dame. Big mistake. And Tampa Bay took Joe Hamilton from Georgia Tech. Joe Hamilton, I think, was much better known as a Arena League quarterback, if memory serves me right. So anyway, Brady had a great time and all that. 344 starts in his NFL career, the most of any NFL quarterback. And he's still playing, remember. 20 seasons with the Pats, the most by an NFL quarterback with one franchise. He was the starter for 19 of the 20 franchises. He was a backup in his rookie campaign. And he missed 2008, the majority of it due to a knee injury. That was the season when the Pats were so freaking close to making the playoffs. Brady is the winningest quarterback ever. As I said, Brady led the team to 7 Super Bowl titles by himself. Brady's 7 individual rings are more than any other team has rings. Second place is Pittsburgh with 6. So amazing. All that. Brady joined his longtime rival, Peyton Manning, as the only quarterbacks in history to lead a team to the Super Bowl for more than one franchise. Peyton did it for the Colts and the Broncos, then retired, and then Brady just did it for the Bucs this year. He has 5 Super Bowl MVP awards. He holds a lot of records and all that. So, of course, Brady had a streak of 112 consecutive starts after his injury in 2008. And then it was ruined by Deflategate, or basically Roger Goodell's pettiness. I feel like Goodell was trying to ruin Tom Brady and the Pats on purpose because of them being a dynasty. It didn't work. In all honesty, if I were a Patriots player on the podium with Goodell when he handed the Lombardi Trophy to Brady in 2017, I would have said, "Go fuck yourself. Get the fuck off our stage." So yeah. That's the way it goes. The Brady Belichick era was great. And all that. Always as a Pats fan, you know. And, you know, my Tom Brady jersey actually led me. I had a ratty old Tom Brady jersey for many years, from 2008 when I bought it to 2020 when my good buddy Bill Lang decided to sell me his for $50, his white Pats jersey for $50. So I said, okay, sure. Yeah, he gave me a friend's discount. So I bought it. And, you know, I was happy, you know, touching it and all that. Of course, how was I supposed to know that after I got Tom Brady's jersey, the Bucks would be undefeated, including the playoffs, of course. And I'm like, ugh. If I had not bought that jersey, or if I had waited long enough, maybe Tampa would not have won the Super Bowl. I was bitter because, you know, Tom Brady left the Pats. You know, I'm still going to cheer for the Pats, but, you know, I didn't want him to win a Super Bowl. Well, shows how much I care. So anyway, Brady did a lot of jobs and all that. Brady was the starter because of an injury. The Pats would take on the Jets. This was actually the first game back from 9/11 because, you know, 9/11 happened the previous week. Bledsoe was the starter, but unfortunately, Mo Lewis of the Jets gave him internal bleeding from a hit. So Brady had to come in. Well, the Jets did win the game 10-3, and the Pats were 0-2. Not doing so well. Brady was named the starter for the season's third game against the Colts, and he pasted Peyton and the Colts 44-13. Brady found his stride. And with an 11, and they won 11 out of 14 games Brady started. So they were 11-5. They won the AFC East, and they got a first round bye. They would face the Oakland Raiders at home in a very snowy Foxborough. Brady did okay, 312 yards, and he led the Pats back from a fourth quarter deficit to send the game to overtime, which Alan Vinatieri kicked an easy field goal, as it were. Well, it was easy for Vinatieri the second time in the overtime one, except than the one in regulation, because at the end of regulation, because that was a 50-yarder. Of course, we all know that game because of the tuck rule and all that. And Oakland got the ball back. Remember, I wasn't cheering for the Pats at that time. So I was like, Oakland got it. It's like, yes, all right. I don't think Brady could do it in the playoffs. And then the stupid tuck rule game. And that was in the rule books at that time. Patriots got the ball back and won the game. Brady actually injured himself, and Bledsoe was forced into action in the AFC title game against the Steelers. The Pats won the game. So basically, it was hard to find out Brady or Bledsoe for the to face the Rams in the Super Bowl. But Brady was selected. The Rams did come back from 7-3 down to tie the game, and then Brady got the ball back. And John Madden famously said that, you know, the Patriots are going to probably just take the game in overtime. And Pat Summerall interrupted, saying, now just a minute, they have time. Brady drove the Pats down to the Rams 31 with 7 seconds left. Vinatieri then kicked a 48-yard field goal. Pats win the game. Brady was named Super Bowl MVP, becoming the youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl at the age of 24 years, 6 months. That one led to Brady's status of being the Pats' starting quarterback. Bledsoe was then dealt to Buffalo in the meantime. The Pats were 9-7, which tied them for the Jets and Dolphins. But based on tiebreakers, the Pats lost to the Jets on tiebreakers. So the Jets were the AFC East champions. And they lost a tiebreaker to the Cleveland Browns for the final wildcard spots. So they missed the playoffs entirely. The funny thing is, Cleveland almost won their wildcard game against Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, though, you know, they choked a big lead, and Pittsburgh came back in the last few minutes. So, yeah, it would have been funny because the Cleveland Browns this year, well, this past year, the 2020 season, that was only the second time they made the playoffs after coming back in 1999. Brady did throw for 28 touchdown passes to lead the NFL. But the Pats came back strong, winning back-to-back Super Bowls. No thanks to Vinatieri in the first one because he kicked the winning field goal against Carolina. That fourth quarter was crazy against Carolina at Super Bowl 38. Super Bowl 39, the Pats would take care of the Eagles, but the Eagles screwed themselves over by playing in bad clock position and all that. So anyway, the Pats would become the last NFL team to go win back-to-back Super Bowls as of this year, which is amazing. Brady would do very well. However, in the 2007 AFC title game, the Pats looked like they were going to win the game and would face the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl, and definitely the Pats would have won that one. But Brady screwed up. The Pats were up 21-6, but Peyton Manning came back, and the Colts finally beat the Pats in the playoffs. The 2007 season was much better. A perfect regular season. I mean, 16-0. Can you believe it? They outscored their opponents 37-17 on average. So, yeah, it was the greatest passing season of all time. 50 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's not half bad. He was the first quarterback to hit 50 touchdown passes. He led the Pats to an offense of 589 points a game. So, yeah, he was MVP, obviously. Why wouldn't he be? The Pats took care of the Jaguars and the Chargers to move on to the Super Bowl against the Giants. And we all know what happened at the end. Eli Manning scrambling to get out of a sack and then throwing a heaving pass to David Tyree, who put it against his helmet, making sure Ronnie Harrison didn't knock the ball over. Giants went on to win that game 17-14, ruining the Pats' chances of a perfect season. If that wasn't bad enough, the next season started off with promise. Chiefs versus Pats. Tom Brady was ready to go. But unfortunately, in the first quarter, his left knee was seriously injured by a hit by Bernard Pollard. Basically, it tore his ACL and MCL, which means that he was out for the season. The Pats did finish 11-5, which was good. That was the best. That was the same season as their first Super Bowl title, 11-5. However, they lost on tiebreaks to Miami, and they also lost a tiebreaker to get into the playoffs, even as a wild card. So that sucked. But it did give Matt Castle some credence that Kansas City kind of overpaid for him. Brady came back in the 2009 season opener against the Buffalo Bills. And I remember that game because that game was, A, it was a Monday nighter. And B, I was in the Bahamas with my trivia thing when that happened. And the Bills screwed up, making that was it Lewis McCalvin? Was he the guy who fumbled the punt and the Pats got the ball back to win the game 25-24? So anyway, Brady would have the most touchdowns in a quarter against the Titans in a blizzard in October. It was weird. Throwing 5 in the second quarter. The Pats won 59-0. It was actually the largest margin of victory since the merger in 1970 and the largest halftime lead in NFL history, 45-0. Wow. Brady would come back to throw over 4,400 yards passing and 28 touchdowns, despite the fact he had 3 fractured ribs during the season. Wow. He was named Comeback Player of the Year. Unfortunately, the Pats lost to the Ravens in the wildcard round. It was actually the Patriots' first home playoff loss since 1978. Yikes. Brady would sign a 4-year, $72 million contract in 2010 and got his second MVP. The Pats shockingly lost to the Jets in the divisional round, 28-21. I remember that. That was just deflating for me. Anyway, 2011, he came back with over 5,000 yards. He actually ended up second behind Drew Brees' 5,400 plus with 5,200. The Pats were the best team in the AFC. They crushed Denver in the divisional round because Tim Tebow was playing, and he got 6 touchdown passes in a playoff game. That's the most. Tying in with Steve Young and Daryl LaMonica. The Pats got fortunate because of a missed field goal by Billy Cundiff of the Ravens, who shanked it to the left. Otherwise, it would have been overtime. I would go on to say that was the ghost of Maya Kraft, Robert Kraft's wife. Pats would face the Giants in a rematch. Sadly, though, the Pats would lose. And again, the Giants scored a game-winning touchdown with a minute left. So, yeah, ugly. Of course, that was when I made the bet with Jim Schmiedenberg of Blue Shirt Underground, and basically I was going to say that if the Giants beat the Pats, I would ban myself from the Blue Shirt Underground group for the remainder of February. Jim said, "Don't do that. How about this? If the Giants beat the Pats, you put on your profile, Facebook profile, the picture of the Super Bowl MVP. Giants won. Eli Manning's got the Super Bowl MVP trophy. So I got the picture, put it on my profile pic, and for 1 week I had to keep it on, and I kept it on for 1 week. And Jim even mentioned that in his podcast the Wednesday. He said that there's some Chris Kreider, I think, if you remember, the Rangers were bitching. He's from Boston College, and he was bitching about how the Giants beat the Pats and all that. And then he goes on to say all this stuff about me. And then Jim said, so I say, just put the profile pic of the Giants MVP. And you know what? He did it. He didn't whine. He didn't groan. He just did it. Props to Cutsy. So, yeah. So Brady would help the Pats do well. In the 2012 season, but they lost to the Ravens, who then go on to win the Super Bowl. So things looked good for Brady and all that. The 2014 season was when Brady got his 4th title. The Pats had to battle the Ravens in the divisional round. It was a tight one. The Pats crushed. Who did the Pats crush in the blowout? The Colts. Somehow, in some way, in the 2015 AFC title game, the Pats won 45-7 against Peyton Manning. I just can't see that. No, wait a minute. Peyton was gone. He was to Denver, right? Yeah, sorry about that. Well, Brady played in his 6th Super Bowl, breaking a tie with Elway for the most quarterback Super Bowl appearances. And the Pats survived against the Seahawks 28-24. I will say survived. I will be honest with you. I thought Marshawn Lynch was going to run for the 1-yard line for a touchdown to win the game. I wouldn't have been bitter at Seattle. Jason Lundgren, my fellow Aspie sports guy, is a Seahawks fan, and I would have just given him props and all of that. Brady got his 4th Super Bowl ring and his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. Now, of course, around 2013, I heard about this group called Open Space. It was like a meet and greet with some people with different disabilities. They played games and all that. So I went there, and then I met this guy, and then, we were going to the park near the event, near the cafe where it has happened. And, I sport my Tom Brady jersey. And, me and my buddy Bill, my future buddy Bill Lane, struck up a conversation about Tom Brady and said we were both Patriots fans. I thought Bill was autistic like myself. Big mistake, Jeff. Fuck. Anyhow, so the Pats. So, we would cheer for the Pats. There have been several times we both wore Tom Brady jerseys on the same day, like meeting up on Mondays and all that. That's funny. We watch a lot of Pats games together. Of course, Deflategate would ruin Brady and all that. Goodell decided to kick him to the curb for the 2016 season. But the worst part about it, for Goodell's sake, who basically is kind of a dickhead. I mean, the guy almost let Ray Rice back into the league after after abusing his wife. The guy freaking didn't give punishments to those with domestic abuse problems and all that. It seemed that Goodell had 31 NFL owners in his ear trying to fuck over the Pats. And he listened to them. But the joke was on Goodell as the Pats won the Super Bowl in 2017. It was funny seeing how Goodell had to hand over the trophy and all that. Of course, that Super Bowl was when the Pats were down 28-3. I will confess, I actually stopped watching the game after the first half. I figured, oh, fuck, game over. So I turned it off. Was on my computer. I stayed away from the internet because I didn't want to hear about the Pats game. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, maybe I'll turn on the TV to see or I'll turn on the internet to see with the Patriots how much they got bombed by. And then I looked and the game was going to overtime and I'm like, overtime? What? So I instantly flipped the game on the TV back on the TV, and lo and behold, Pats got the ball first in overtime, scored. It was unbelievable. I was just shocked and all that. That was kind of creepy how, I abandoned the Pats and then they said, hey, you know what? Screw you. We're going to win the Super Bowl. I learned a lot. So anyway, the 2017 season, the Pats were looking to go back-to-back, trying to become the first team to do it in 13 years. Of course, they were the last teams to do it. But Philly, with their Philadelphia special and all that crap, won the game 41-33. It is the most combined total yards in NFL history into a Super Bowl. Brady unfortunately became the fourth starting quarterback to lose 3 Super Bowls behind Jim Kelly, Frank Tarkenton, and John Elway. At least Elway won a Super Bowl. Kelly and Tarkenton didn't. Brady came back for 2018 and then won his 6th Super Bowl against the LA Rams. It was shocking to see the Pats only scoring 13 points, but giving up 3 points. Man, the defense was just on, or the Rams' offense just was bullshit. It was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. At least the Rams didn't get shut out. The game was tied 3-3 with 8 minutes left. That's how bad it was offensively. The Pats won their 6th Super Bowl, tying the Steelers for the most in NFL history. So Brady would sign a contract extension with the Pats, and then his contract was expiring March 2020. He decided to not re-sign with the team. Brady would sign with Tampa, pissing me off in a sense. So Brady signed a 2-year contract with Tampa Bay. Brady would get his number 12, and he was responsible for Rob Gronkowski coming out of retirement to play for the Bucks. So he helped the Bucks. The Bucks were not doing so hot, especially after losing 38-3 against the Saints in Week 9. But the Bucks got to the playoffs for the first time in 13 years. They would have to go through a wild card, through the playoffs through the wild card because of the Saints winning the division. Brady would face Washington in the wild card round. But they beat Washington 31-23. I never thought Washington could win. After all, Washington's below 500. But you got to face Tom Brady. In the divisional round, the Bucks got revenge for the Saints ruining them by winning 30-20. Honestly, I thought the Saints were going to do something about it. Breeze and Brady, everyone thought that this would be the last time those two guys would meet. And it's correct, as Breeze has retired now. In the NFC title game at Lambeau Field, Brady and Rodgers went to work. It was 31-26 for the Bucks to send the Packers home. It was shocking. So Brady got his 10th Super Bowl appearance, and he became the 4th quarterback to lead 2 different teams to the Super Bowl. Craig Morton leading the Broncos and the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. Kurt Warner for Rams and Cardinals, Giants my ass, and Peyton Manning for the Colts and Broncos. So the Bucks got to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium, which I think a few years prior was awarded Super Bowl 55. And Brady crushed Kansas City in the fine powder 31-9. Amazing. And here's the funny thing about Brady. He had a torn MCL that plagued him for the 2020 season, and yet he still played and he still did well. Ooh. So anyway, Brady 230 wins, 69 losses in the regular season, over 79,000 passing yards, 581 touchdowns. Amazing. In the playoffs, he's 34-11, so that's greater than a 750 winning percentage. A 750 winning percentage would be we win 3 out of every 4. Since he's lost 11 times 3 is 33, so he's a little bit above 750 clip in the postseason. That's pretty good. 12,000 postseason passing yards, 83 touchdowns, 38 interceptions. In the Super Bowl, he's thrown for over 3,000 yards. He is 7-3 in the Super Bowl. Hard to believe, eh? He has lots of NFL records. I'm not going to go through them because there's too many. All that. He was actually in a few episodes of a TV show that I actually liked. He was in the Simpsons episode 2005, Homer Ned's Hail Mary Pass. That was the Simpsons episode after the Super Bowl on Fox. Oh. Yeah, on Fox. Because Fox had the Super Bowl between the Pats and the Eagles. Yeah. He was basically there for Homer's celebration camp. But basically, Tom Brady said that, I'm a star athlete. I can't celebrate like that. And then he was in the Family Guy episode, Patriot Games, when he noticed Peter's broken field run on the way to a bathroom in a class reunion. And wants him to play for the Pats. Of course, Peter gets high and mighty with the Pats, and then he gets sent to London and all that. And then Peter and his London team tries to challenge the Patriots, but the London team are basically better wusses. And Brady does admire Peter for his skills and all that. He actually was in Ted 2. I've never seen Ted 2. I have Ted 1, but I don't have Ted 2. So he would launch his performance website, tb12sports.com, about the training regimen and all that. So yeah, so basically he trains like a machine. He had his book in 2017, The TB12 Method, which Bill has. And it was #1 on the Amazon list. Brady was raised as a Roman Catholic, but he's less religious than he is spiritual. He doesn't believe anything. I think that's a belief system. I just don't know what it is. Brady actually did date actress Bridget Monahan. And Brady did have a kid, Monahan. Well, Monahan was 3 months pregnant with Tom's kid when they ended their relationship. So he has a 14-year-old kid. Okay. Then Brady would date Brazilian model Gisele Bündchen in 2006 and married in 2009. They have 2 kids, Benjamin and Vivian. I think John does see Tom on occasion. I thought they had 3 kids. So yeah, I guess not. Yeah, Benjamin. When I saw him in a thing, like some kind of thing, when Brady went to Japan to watch sumo wrestlers, look at his son. He looked real thin. He looked like, what the hell? Does he eat? But anyway, Brady is a friend of Donald Trump. I'm not getting much into that. So anyway, his diet and lifestyle is huge. Meditation, yoga, 80-20 diet, 80% alkaline and 20% acidic, early bedtime, resistance training, and neuroplasticity training. He and his family adhere to a controversial diet TB12 method. He advocates a daily water intake in ounces of half of one's body weight in pounds. He avoids most fruits, mushrooms, tomatoes, peppers, and all that. He avoids fruit. Fruit's good for you, though. However, Brady's diet does have some fans. Rob Gronkowski, Kirk Cousins, and Mark Scheifele. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, Tom Brady was just the bomb. Is the bomb still? I mean, I'm still bitter as I'm a Pat fan, but I have to be honest with you guys. So anyway, Tom Brady is an icon, and don't you forget it. Holy smokes, 40 minutes? Are you serious? Well, I know it's a long time, but I got to talk about Tom Brady and his connections with my personal thing and with Bill and all that. Hey, don't say I don't try. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, a dude.